I accidentally kicked myself off. I couldn't get myself on. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, cool gamer. Good to see you. Hey, Punkette. Look at you right here on time. I'm trying to, oh, I gotta shut this fan off. I'm dying, but it's like 80 here today. And then, like, it's been like 80 like the past 3 days. And then it's supposed to be like 50 something and then possibly snow. I can't take this weather. But, so this was not, what's going on with my hair? This was just last minute live, so I'm going to wait for some people to get in here. Oh, let me go say I'm going live. Hey, Carol Claus. You've been here the last 10 minutes talking to yourself. So we are going to do a little bit of a true crime recap tonight, before the crazy week starts with trials. I haven't been super good at following the Vallow case, so I think she's psycho, but Jen Lou and Alex have done a really nice job covering that case. I don't know, what's your opinions on that? On Lori. What do you think about Lori? First of all, what do you think about Melanie? I gotta say, I can't stand Melanie. I haven't followed it a ton, but what I have followed is that I can't stand Melanie. Here's my take on Melanie. I think Melanie had a thing for Chad, and Lori got in the way of that all, is what I think. You know nothing, Punkette. We'll get you caught up. We'll get you caught up. Yeah, I'll get you caught up. But first, I want to talk about, hey, Lana, you have a great day, too. I'm so tired tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just tired. Okay, hold on. I'm yawning, and then we're getting going. All right. So, there's this case of this little boy. Well, hold on. I want to hear Carol Claus. What's your thoughts on Lori Vallow? Both are yeah, right. Both are crazy. I used to go back and forth with whether or not Melanie had anything to do with it. I don't think she did, but I do think she had a thing for Chad, and I think they're both crazy, and I think that they're both going to spend the rest of their life in prison. I don't know. Does Idaho have the death penalty? I don't know. I can't remember. Wait, yes, they do, don't they? Because the whole Brian wants to be killed by a firing squad thing. I don't know. But the whole case is nuts. It's just nuts. Okay, so let's go. I want to talk a little bit about this little boy. Yes, Punkette. So this is Lori Vallow. She killed, well, who knows who really killed the kids? I think Alex killed the kids, and Lori put him up to it. Alex is the brother, and then Chad buried them. I don't know. You gotta look. The case is so freaking crazy. It's like, you'd have to look it up. They were just crazy. I can't even. I just can't even with them. I think there was some weird relationship going on between Alex and Lori as well, which is super weird. But I want to talk about really quick, not really quick, but Noel at I think Noel, I think is how they say it, Alvarez. So he is, and there is a reason. I promised I would get to this. So he is a 6-year-old little boy that went missing and hasn't been seen since October. All right, he was just recently started being looked for at the end of March. He's 6 in Texas, in Everman, Texas. So here is, let's see. I can't get my daughter's thing little. So I don't necessarily know how a 6-year-old boy goes missing yet again, and no one reports him until March. But so here he is. This one you do know. So wait, it just went off. Hold on. Okay. So he went missing in Everman, Texas. He was reported by a family. So he was reported by a family member last month. There were rumors within the family that Noel, I don't know if it's Noel or Noel, I'm thinking it's Noel, had been sold or killed by his mother, Cindy Rodriguez Sin, however you say it. Investigators spoke to Cindy's brother, who said, he's right over there if you can't see him, who said Cindy told her mother she sold him to an unknown woman at a Fiesta market. He added that Cindy later claimed that she could not contact the woman due to fear of being reported to CPS. The warrant also details allegations of abuse that Cindy's brother witnessed the last time Cindy and her children were at the house about a year ago. He said he was told to give Noel any water, not to give him water, because Cindy didn't want to change his diaper. And when they did give him water, he later observed his sister hitting the boy with keys on a lanyard. The warrant says the last person to see the boy was alive, was in the home during Thanksgiving Day. So there's more to the story. So they dug under concrete for evidence at this house in Everman last week, but didn't find anything. However, cadaver dogs did hit there. So they believed at that time that they do believe he's dead now. They believe at that time that he was underneath, yes, was at one time in this patio or whatever, but he might have been moved. He had a lot of health issues. He was definitely special needs. Now, there's some things, and Carol Claus might be able to help me out with this, because I don't fully understand how this is happening. So they said the last time he was seen was right around the time that the mom gave birth to their twin sisters, to his twins. Why can this mouse? What is wrong with this? To the twin sisters. And that when police saw him at the hospital, he looked malnourished and not well taken care of. So I am a little bit confused of why that wasn't investigated then. Allegedly, he did at one point, he was in foster care because a foster mother has come forward and said he was the sweetest little boy, that had she ever known this was going to happen, she would have fought harder, all this stuff. So the mother and the father, stepfather, fled to India right after his disappearance was notified to police. They have 7 kids altogether, with him being one, and they were living in, basically was like a shed in somebody's backyard. Let me see if I can see a picture where they were living. It's just horrendous. Police have said they do believe he's deceased. Now, oh, here's a good picture. Up until, oh, here's a more updated. So they believe his human remains were once near a shed, which was the shed they were apparently living in. What in the world just happened? How do I get off of this? So on Monday, this was a couple weeks ago, investigators dug up a concrete patio paid for by the boy's mother. So that's very important. So the boy's mother pays for this patio shortly after his disappearance. There's the 2 parents of the year. Everman police say in the investigation they learned the stepfather disposed of a large indoor-outdoor carpet in a dumpster prior to the family fleeing the country. Multiple human remains detection canines alerted officers to the carpet, which was used at the base of a makeshift shed that was on the property until about a month ago. It was previously built where the current patio set is. So police say the same piece of carpet was once on the floor of an older shed that's still on the property till a month ago. It said the canines follow the soiled and stopped alerting the investigators to the patio area. There was nobody found or anything. So I'm going to see if this shows a better picture. I mean, it doesn't, but that's all right. Where they were living is absolutely, the family said they had not seen. Yeah, where they were living is insane. And there's so many kids, and now they're just escaped to, so then this came out to India, and he's still not been found. So the other day they were supposed to dig more stuff up and stuff, and everything got called off because they said that investigators had learned new information. They haven't said yet what the new information, but they called stuff off saying they had learned new information. So then, here's what's even more worse. Is that even a word? So apparently last year, before he went missing, I need to find that article. Mom was heard saying to other family members that he had right around the time the twins were born, that he had a demon inside of him. This is what Mom said about this sweet little boy. Foster mom, so this is what foster mom, she said she never imagined, foster mom says that she hadn't seen him since the fall of 2022, and that his, new parents fled. She said he was a sweet little boy, who once she fostered the little boy and his siblings. She remembers him as being loving and lovable. She said that was our boy. He loved to give hugs, just a sweet little boy. She said she never imagined that returning him to his birth mother could have led to this. She said no kid. He was born prematurely, but he could walk, talk, operate his tablet, and was overcoming his challenges. She said that when his siblings and him were returned to his mother in December of 2021, she was assured of the family's continued support. I remember my husband telling her if she feels like she's overwhelmed or needed a break, just to call us. That's pretty crazy. So here's the thing. Hey, Glenn Jammin. Good to see you too. Given that she has now, with the husband and the 6 kids, escaped to India, what kind of rules are in place? Like, I mean, are they going to my daughter got a turkey call for her boyfriend, for her birthday. She's out there making turkey noises, but are they allowed to just, like, can they go over and get that? Like, what kind of laws are in place? That I didn't have time to look that up, but I think that's pretty, I don't know. I just don't understand. So many red flags and nothing was done. I'm just having a really hard time grasping how a 6-year-old hasn't been seen since November, and no one bats an eye until family member finally says, look, I haven't seen the kid since November, so I think he might be missing. Meanwhile, law enforcement admits that at the hospital, when they saw him before the twins were born, he looked malnourished and not healthy. And my mind is just, I don't know. I mean, I do not see a good outcome if he was sold. So the thing is, and I'm going to be very, very, very blunt about this, and this sounds bad. Typically, he wouldn't be, I don't know how to say this, the type of kid that necessarily would have been a hot commodity on the market. As horrible as that sounds, right, with his special needs and stuff. So I would be surprised if he was sold, but it's highly, anything's possible. I think that given the fact that old mommy dearest was saying things like she felt he had a demon in him or whatever, my guess is she hurt him in some way, shape, or form. I know that their family members believe that she killed him. Where he is, I don't know. She's the one that had paid for, right? These people don't have much money. They're living in like a shed. with their 7 kids. But mom pays for a new concrete pad to be poured after he goes missing, and a shed randomly goes up onto this pad. And so we know that the canines alerted a lot to that location, the patio that was laid, and so they tore it all up, but they found nothing. But they believe he could have possibly been moved. So I don't know. The stepdad obviously has a hand in it. Oh, that makes more. Oh my gosh. So basically, just like Evelyn Boswell, just like Megan Boswell did, and told her family, for the most part, told people that Evelyn was with the dad, and that we know was a lie, and that's how she was missing essentially from November till, well, the same time frame, February or something like that. Oh my gosh. The thing is, once they get him, they fled to, I believe it was India, was the last that I heard. They suspected they had fled to India just a few days after they, like, people came forward with it, that police were notified and stuff. So I'm still trying to figure out how laws work. I mean, I would think they have to somehow be able to pin it on them. I mean, it's pretty evident. But I do think mom's going to claim a whole bunch of different things, like postpartum and all that kind of stuff. But he was obviously being very neglected beforehand. If he wasn't allowed water because they didn't want to change his diaper. It's just, I agree with Punkat. I am really over parents killing their kids. Really over it. Hey, Gladys. It's just nonstop. And now, who knows though, if they do, okay, Punkat, if she said that he was, she sensed a demon in him or whatever, demon in him, she might just be trying to go for some sort of insanity plea. Like this, I think she had too many kids. He was special needs. She couldn't take care of him. She was abusive to him already. And she did something to him, or they did something to him, and dad moved him when people got suspicious, is what I think. I don't necessarily know how they would have moved him, or the only thing I could think of is that they had him there and then moved him and then poured the patio. It's good to see you, Gladys. That's the only thing I can think of. But I mean, it's not getting much attention, this case, and it's actually it's really sad, because it's just really sad that it's getting no attention. I mean, if he's sold, he deserves to be found. If he's deceased, he deserves to be found, and the right people deserve to go to prison for the rest of their lives. I'm also concerned that there's 6 other kids living with them in India. I mean, are they over there selling that? You just have no idea. Do I even think they're with the kids? Who knows? At this point, those kids could all be sold or something. Like, mom and stepdad aren't going to carry around that baggage. They're just not. At all. If you hear something falling, I don't know what my son's doing. I hope so, Punkat. When you look at him, and I hate saying this, but my brain goes, I don't understand how we can have thousands of people looking for Kylie Rodney, and it breaks all over the place. But like, this 6-year-old boy goes missing, and like, we basically hear nothing. Now, what the other information said, other data the police received on Thursday What that is, I don't know. It hasn't been, but for whatever reason, they've halted this giant search they were going to have and digging up more stuff. So I don't know. Maybe they have information now that he was in fact sold. I have no idea what the thought process or what is going on. I'm assuming we'll hear more about it this week. I think if anybody gets extradited, it will definitely be mom, because I think people are thinking she's the key in this all. But I don't know, stepdad's pretty shady too, if you ask me. But we have to remember there's babies with them. Like the twin girls are young. Like these kids aren't just teenagers. They're young kids. Hey Sarah. I know they did look, law enforcement's been really upset. And I do, because it has to be hard for them to feel like, like they missed something, or, how is he going missing? Is it, well, I guess it's highly possible they found, well, it is maybe they found him, because remember they found Quentin like couple days before it was announced that they found him. So maybe they found him and that's why they looked so upset. I don't know. I can tell you if he sold where they are in Texas, if he's sold and he's in Mexico, good luck finding him and getting him back. It's just terrible. So that was that case. I do, I want to make sure we update. What did I just do? Okay, so I got to talk to you about a couple things though with, how do you say Leticia, whatever her name is. Stauch, is it Stauch or Stauch? I can't ever say the last name. Trial. So I'm sure everybody's been following it. If you haven't, I've been kind of addicted to the trial. Isn't his bio dad? Yes. Well, is he, Punkette? Yeah, I think you're right. He is. Yes, the bio dad is from Mexico. I'm thinking stepdad. The bio dad is from Mexico, yes. But it doesn't sound like they think the bio dad is involved in any way. It kind of sounds like mom had been lying to him for a while. So I don't know. It just is frustrating. And he is a really cute little boy. And I need to make sure I keep sharing on my community page about him, because it's just a really tragic case. Okay, I'm sure everybody here knows about the Leticia's case and all that in the trial. If you haven't been following them, follow. I had not heard about this case really until 2 weeks ago on my way home from Florida. Like, everybody was talking about it, and so I popped on, and I've been addicted ever since to the trial, because the craziness of this woman is out of this world. So at first I kind of blamed, so I didn't understand, so I want to walk through this, because I didn't understand at first why Gannon was even left with her. But now I better understand, and if I got this wrong, you can tell me, that dad was in the reserves. So, because I remember when my husband was in the reserves, they have a certain amount of time they have to go away. So dad did live with them, from what I gathered. Apparently, so I don't necessarily think that Leticia or whatever physically abused him so much before this time. I think she probably did a little bit, but I think she mentally and emotionally played some crazy games with his head. And when I listened to Al's phone call, Al's the dad, with Leticia, when he was talking to her about, in one of the phone calls talking about her, he said, "You're playing the same games." Yeah, for sure, Sarah. Oh, she's toast. He said, "You're playing the same games with Gannon that you play with me." So I think she very much emotionally abused Gannon, and that when, like, I think she would maybe even physically abuse him a little bit, but then she would like bring it back around. You know how when somebody's abusive, they're so hot and cold, and so it's like, oh, you're so mean, they're abusive to you, and then it's, I'm so sorry, I love you, just, and like the person makes you their world. Like, I think she made Gannon her world, and then she would turn on him, and it was just like this crazy, yes, she is freaking nuts, this crazy cycle over and over and over again. And I think she did it to Al, and I think she did it to Gannon. And I agree, Sarah. I am so torn, and I'm going to be honest. I think it's the mother in me about Harley. So I think that she did it to Harley too. I don't know, and I'll be interested to know your thoughts. I do believe that Harley knew something when it was after the fact. I don't think she partook in it at all or had any knowledge that it was going to happen. I think that she at least suspected something. I think she's innocent of any of that, of the actual crime. I can't figure out afterwards. I can't figure out Florida. I can't figure out some of that stuff. I think she was super manipulated and controlled by Leticia, and I think we see that in the fact that she, like, we know that Leticia was taking her phone and texting on it. We know that Leticia was using her social media profiles. I think that, is it possible that she convinced Harley that she was going to be in trouble somehow? I think that's highly possible. But I will say, I noticed one thing, and I don't know if this is standard for trials. I noticed when Al was on the stand that Al would not say Leticia's name, and if he did, if he started to, he would immediately, I know, Carol, that's me too. I have mixed feelings. So I think for me, like, if she had knowledge of it, hey, Jen, she needs to have, there's consequences. But do I feel for her in a sense where I think she was horribly emotionally abused, perhaps physically abused throughout her entire childhood? Totally. I noticed when Al wouldn't say her name. Whenever he starts to at trial, he immediately says the defendant. But when he says Harley's name, I do feel that there is a genuine love for Harley, that he genuinely cares for Harley. And so I can't quite determine if he's angry, hey, Risk, if he's angry at Harley or both, because, that's like his daughter. Oh, hi, Beetle, go to bed. So I don't know. I'm interested, chat. Your thoughts on, there are no wrong thoughts. Your thoughts on Harley. Did she know? Do you think she was abused? I don't see how she didn't, y'all. I don't, how could Leticia clean that house up so quick? Like, what do you think? Like, how could she have cleaned? I can't understand the time frame, because we're talking, she killed him at, 2 something in the afternoon. And we have to remember too, like, there wasn't just a little bit of blood here and there. If you didn't watch the trial the other day and see the, what do they call it? Blue Star or whatever they use, luminol, there was a lot of blood. Like, first of all, her story of the candle burning him that she told Al, and that the blisters peeled off, and that's what happened. If you've all ever had a blister, before it ever bleeds, it usually exactly, Gladys. I do think, I agree with you, Carol. I do think she probably helped her clean, and that, I think, might be what caused Harley to continue to go along with it, is because I think that her mom then was like, well, you're an accomplice or something. I think Harley probably panicked when she, like, I couldn't. Oh, Harley was so mom clearly abused Harley. Like, oh my gosh, it's just nuts. So I started listening to the phone calls and just the lies that she told Al, and just the things that she would come up with were so premeditated and so calculated that I don't think there would ever be, I don't think the jury is ever going to see that she was insane. I don't. But the sick part is, if you watch her in court, I don't think for 1 second she has any remorse whatsoever. But now here's my question. I want to know what you guys think about this. The candle. And I know Jen Lou has talked about this some too, because it drives her nuts. I can't imagine that a candle falling on the carpet was such a catalyst that a full, 16 hours later, she decided that she was going to kill him. I don't feel she knew everything in the beginning, but yeah, so do I, Carol. Very true, Gladys. Risk, I agree. 1 second. Oh, sorry, babe. Thank you. Is it hot in here? It is really hot. Can you hurry up? Yes, yes. Goodbye. I love you. You shut the door. I don't know about the candle thing. Is driving me crazy. The candle thing is driving me crazy because I got to ask you guys this first. This is what I was going to ask you. Somebody made a really good point on Reddit. They said, look at the candle wax. The candle wax is red, but the candle is white. I looked at pictures, so then I got to think, okay, when a candle does spill, in my little Harry Potter closet, I know my daughter just got a brand new desk for her birthday, so it's like all really cool and stuff, but like, would that happen, that if you spilled a candle on the ground, it would be a reddish color if the candle is white? Like, would that be a burn or what? I'm super confused about the candle. That's what I'm wondering, Sarah, and I didn't think that. Okay, so when we hear Gannon talking, she says, Gannon, I want to know for sure, did you do the candle thing on purpose? Now, none of us know either why she felt the need to record that part of it. But I don't think, exactly, Risk, I don't think that he was that upset over just a simple candle spill. I mean, kids get upset, but she did something to him, I think, because she sounds out of breath. She sounds, I think she hurt him in some way before. So then I'm like, could he have spilled a little bit of candle wax and she then burnt him on purpose? Like, I don't know. And this was a lot of like, she really did this up. But I do think, and here's my theory, I will share it. Whatever happened, I think the candle was just a cover up of some sort. I think she was going to do it anyways. I think Al was getting a backbone and Al was about ready to take off. We know by her Google searches that she was like really asking weird questions, like just odd questions. And I think she was going to punish Al. I think she hated his mom, the Landon. Also, we don't exactly know. So Al's mom, if we remember correctly, was at their house staying up until Saturday night. When Al took his mom back to the airport, he stayed and slept on the airport floor because he had to leave earlier that morning. So there's things that could have transpired over mom's visit that caused the psychopath to start to think Al was going to leave, or Al was, she's the type of person that you can tell if she feels she's losing her grip on you, she will go to no end to keep it. That is the same way that Leilani is. I feel she Oh, very cool, Jen. I feel she hit him in the head first, then threw the candle at him. Carol, that is a very good. So I don't necessarily think that we know he was hit in the head hard. I don't necessarily know if one of the times, he was hit on the head, if that was from the candle the first time, because I think he would have died sooner. But I do believe now when I hear other people talking about the case, it would make sense to me because I was like, okay, why at a midday? Why did she kill him midday? Like that doesn't make sense to me, but it does because she had to send that picture to Al of him in bed, which is really just terrible. I think that night she started drugging him, and I do think that her stupid, stupid, psychotic mind, she hoped he was going to die on his own. And I think she started drugging him Sunday night. And can't you just see her now, like, oh, okay, so say Carol, let's go with your theory. So say she, threw something at him or hurt him that night. We know abusive people, right? What did she probably do? We heard her on the video. Gannon, just, okay, we're going to sell some stuff. We're going to, all that kind of stuff to get him back into good graces. And then you can almost hear her, like you could almost picture in your mind, my kids are laughing, what she would say afterwards of like, here, I'm going to give you, T's going to give you some of these pills. This medicine's going to help you or something. We're going to take it in applesauce or something insane like that so that he starts to take it. And so I think she just slowly starts to start drugging him. I think that the reason she might have looked flighty in Petco or wherever she was going in and out of was because she was hoping he would get violently ill and die. I think she thought maybe he would die in the car. And I think that, and these are just my theories because I haven't voiced them yet. I think that when they got home, she realized it wasn't going to work and that she couldn't necessarily give him enough to kill him without being known. Exactly, Sarah. The bath salts thing, I think what she could cute, like, dude, what 11-year-old even knows that, that bath salts are, like, come on, that's just stupid. I think that was more of a last ditch effort. 1 second. Okay. I think the bath salts was just a last ditch effort for her. But I think that she did drive around a long time because she thought he would die. And then she realized when they got home, it wasn't going to happen. And she realized that Harley was going to be home in a little while with his sister. I know, right, Risk? I think that maybe I think that he fought. It sounds horrible, but I think that she didn't think he would fight back as much because he was drugged, but I think he did fight back a lot. And she realized she wasn't going to be able to stab him. I still can't. I guess the butt of the gun is what most people think that she hit him with on the head. And I think nothing was working in her psychotic mind. And so she shot him. All right, that's all I can think of but his head was, I don't know. I don't feel that this was she flipped out and went crazy and just was impulsive and killed him like that. I don't think so at all. I think she tried also to. Oh, Carol, that's a good thought. Also, I just thought of this. When an emotionally manipulative person feels threatened, like you're going to leave, but it has to, keep you around in a way that makes you not hate them, what better way to keep Al around than if something happened to Gannon? If something happened to Gannon and she could be made out to be this poor pitiful victim because something happened to Gannon and she was with him, Al would be home. So I think it was probably a mixture of maybe punishing him, of maybe like trying to get him to stay around. I don't know. Because even Al said that it was very obvious that she favored his sister. Elaine, I think that she favored him. But I do think she had moments with Gannon that was very like, I just think she is emotionally very manipulative and very good. And I think we see that in the trial. I think she tries to pull it off, but we all know her game too much. Yeah, so the game remote, because the hard part is he was 11, so it's not like he was this out of control, 4-year-old running around constantly. Like, he was probably pretty self-sufficient. I don't know. But Gannon probably was also his dad's boy, like that's his son, she might have been jealous of the attention he got. I really don't know what the psychopath was planning, but I do not believe she went insane. And I do not believe that the jury for 1 second is going to believe that she went insane. I think she's DOA. But I really, 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 it drives me nuts, and I don't know if we'll ever know the truth behind the candle. Yeah, that's true, Gladys. There may have been some issues. That's true. I do, though, tend to think Carol's right. I think she hit him, and, I didn't even think she might have burned him with something else. Because where his burns were don't necessarily match up with, I don't know. No, she hated Landon. Hated Landon. Hated Landon. So was Landon Elena's mom as well, or just Gannon's mom? That's one thing I forgot to look up, and I didn't know. Now, I've heard, too, that Harley is going to testify. This is hearsay, so I don't know if this is true, for both the prosecution and the defense. But I don't think that's possible, for one, and isn't that basically like how it works anyway? Both are mom. Okay, Sarah. Isn't that how it works anyways? Like, one cross-examines and stuff. I think Harley probably cut some sort of a deal if she did know about it. I think she probably has some sort of an immunity deal. I don't know. I also think that, remember when Leticia took Harley's phone and was texting her friend in the front seat to ask if she could stay overnight? I think that Harley knew at that point what she had done, or at least had an idea, and Harley did not want to be with her mom, and I don't think Harley ever had intentions of asking the friend if she could stay there too. But I think at that point, whatever her psychotic brain was not going to let Harley out of her sight. I don't know. Well, first of all, you can't even say that she was like, you can't say she went insane, because that is never going to fly. You just listen to the calls she had with Al. She had several different scenarios in her brain mapped out to a T with a detail that is insane. Like, I wouldn't, like, key details. First of all, if anyone has ever had any type of like dissociation or stuff, typically you don't remember everything. Like, you don't remember details down to that point. Part of dissociating is, well, you dissociate, you go to a whole different thing. So I don't think that there's any way she would remember all of this to the where. Oh, I do. Kate was gonna help me figure out Nightbot. That I don't think she would have remembered. Isn't that what they're fighting for now? Is the did or whatever they're gonna say she had? She was fighting her demons of her childhood with Ganon. First of all, if she was fighting her demons for childhood, wouldn't she have done it to the girl? Hey, LFT, right? Like that doesn't make sense. I'm just saying, like if anybody's ever had PTSD, you all have a little bit of a dissociation that goes along with it. It's pretty standard. You just don't remember things like that. She had different scenarios for each thing. I just want to know what you guys think happened with the candle. So Carol's kind of on the same page as me. She added something though for me that I hadn't thought of, and that was that perhaps it wasn't even the candle that burned Ganon, but a lighter or something. Because I think she smoked. Well, regardless, duh. A candle. You light a candle, so yes, she had lighters. What she did to him, I don't know, but I do think Carol's right, because I think she went too far this time with him, and there was no way to hide it, and it was the end for her. Because, well, here's the other deal too. If she lost Al, where would she go? She had no one in Colorado. Her whole family was in Myrtle Beach. Like, where was she going to go? She'd be kicked out of that house. She couldn't afford that house by herself. That's what I wondered. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Carol Claus. That's a good point, Glenn Jammin. And even if she didn't, like, kill him, like maybe that wasn't when she made the ultimate blow to the skull. Is there any way to tell when somebody, like, he had several spots on his skull, like when they were inflicted, as far as, probably not, or they would have already come out with it. I think that you might be right, that she might have hit his head or through the candle. That's kind of what I thought at the beginning. And so I've heard a couple different things. In that video that we hear him in, the candle video where he's crying. Yeah, I think so too, Glenn Jammin, which is horrific, and I cannot imagine what it's like for his parents to hear that over and over and over again. But I've heard two different things. And I can't hear it enough. Some say he says, "I'm bleeding," but some people say he's saying, "I'm worried about my burns." But if you listen to it again, it does make more sense that he's saying, "I'm worried about my burns." But if he was bleeding and he's saying, "I'm worried about my bleeding," can you imagine if he got blood on the carpet? She would freak out. She was already talking about selling everything for the couch. And where were the other kids during this whole candle episode? That's what I don't understand. His sister is not, what, 7 or something like that? Not much younger than he is. So I know that he was downstairs. I get that was kind of his place down there, but so he says, "I'm bleeding." Yeah. So Sarah, that's what I thought. And then people said, "Nah, it says he was worried about his burns." So I don't know. Oh yeah, it was bad when they showed the blue light the other day and stuff. Her smirking. I thought, okay, so when people said she was smirking at first, I thought they were like, just kind of, because that's, when you think you see something, you just see it because we know she's so psychotic and all that stuff. But it is very evident in several points that she is getting off on this. She is sitting there smiling like it is insane, especially when Al is brought up or Al was on the stand. And I think she absolutely loves the pain that she inflicted on him with taking Ganon. And it's insane. It's crazy. Like there's just the candle thing is a question for me, and kind of how she got the guts to do it in the mid-afternoon. That might be the only place where her impulse came into play, would be when she realized nothing she did was going to kill him. And it's horrifying. And she had to do it that way because she wasn't able to match up the Craigslist story, because that wouldn't have matched up anywhere, because he didn't die on the car ride. And she couldn't, the Eduardo story, dude. I have got to watch the detective video. When we're done with this, I'm going to go watch because I missed it Friday and I didn't get to see the, when she tried to escape. But so Alex does a lot of covering this, and she does really, really good coverage of this. I like coming on here. I just wanted to talk about some of my theories with you guys, because I am kind of obsessed with it now. But I think the thing that bothers me the most is definitely the candle thing. But it's all bothersome. And the candle thing, and probably Harley, because I'm so torn on Harley, because I think she knew after the fact, but I don't know how much Leticia convinced her she was going to be in trouble, and how much the psychotic mommy dearest abused her. And does that make it okay? It doesn't, but it's just, those kids didn't stand a chance. And I know there's a lot of people that are super angry at Landon, for not having the kids. And I don't know. We don't know the situation, I guess. At the bottom line, at the end of the day, the one that did it is a psychopath that's going to go to jail for the rest of her life. And I hope they put her right next to Chris Watts. Did you guys see that the judge, side topic, is giving that little douchebag Richard Allen, they're going to let him move to a different prison? I would not give that guy anything. Anything he asked for. And I understand, laws have to be somehow that can, yep, exactly, Glenn Jamin. And that's the only story that she's ever stuck to, is that freaking candle. Comes up all the time. And that is a key to this. Oh, you're good, LFT. Oh, Sarah Boone. Put her. What is with people in suitcases too, by the way? Sarah Boone, oh my gosh. Has her trial started? I haven't seen that much. I thought it was starting this week. I know, Sarah, you're right. And if they don't treat him that way, and they don't do everything by the book correctly, I know in the end it'll be worse. Like it'll but isn't it funny? I was just talking to somebody about this. So these people, this is how psychotic. Punkette, after we're done with this, look up Sarah Boone. She killed her fiance or boyfriend or something in a suitcase. They were playing hide and go seek or some insane thing like that. These people wait until after the fact, and then they claim insanity. So, Richard Allen, we know that he's claiming, I don't know what he's claiming, mental distress and depression and all this stuff now. Somebody was like, I can't remember who it was like, oh, that's about 6 months too late, Richard, or something. So he's all depressed. You see him, he's got food down his shirt. He's lost all this weight. It's like they're so sick in the head that they think, okay, I'm just going to fake being ill or something. And the lengths that they'll go through, or the lengths that they'll go to cover themselves is just insanity to me. The problem is, Richard, for 5 years, you carried on like you were having a normal life. Do I think he's being mistreated? He was being mistreated in that prison? Probably. Do I think he's going to get much better? I got something in my throat. Much better treatment in the new prison? No, not really. I think that wherever he goes, he's not going to be treated very nicely. Do I think that so I think he probably was not treated nicely, but I also think that he probably put on a little show too. So it's just hard. Anyways, all right, y'all. I am really tired tonight, but we'll catch up probably midweek on the cases this week. If anybody finds anything out about this candle, please tell me, because it's driving me nuts. It's just driving me insane. The candle thing. Oh, in the Vallow case, if you hear any, I am going to try to dig a little more into that. But I can't stand even looking at Lori or hearing her voice. Luckily, we haven't heard it much yet. Gosh. Or if we hear anything about the little boy that's missing here. Or the family. We've got to talk about. I don't know much about it yet, but the entire family that went missing in February that's still missing. It's nuts. But all right. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm so tired tonight. But thanks for letting me play my theories out in the head. And we will catch up this week. And feel free to email me if you guys hear or see anything that's interesting on Reddit or whatever. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.